we continue with Narayana Pandita. So, in this second lecture on Ganita Kaumudi, I will be talking about the meeting of travelers, then progressions, and a very important topic, the Vara Sankalita, sum of sums, the kth sum. So, then a cow problem, which is a application of this. So, then some progress in cyclic quadrilaterals Narayana Pandita has made. So, that is the diagonals of a cyclic quadrilateral. He introduced the concept of a third diagonal and so on. So, then construction of rational triangle with rational sides, perpendiculars and segments, and then lastly some generalization of binomial coefficients and generalized Fibonacci numbers. Suppose two travelers are there, they start from two places, the distance between which is d. So, then the two persons, suppose they started from these places simultaneously in opposite directions with V1 and V2. So, the following rule gives the rules for their times of meeting. So, they will meet several times. So, distance divided by the sum of the speeds happen to be the time for the first meeting, twice the quotient obtained by the division of distance by the same is the time of meeting again after that meeting. Tasmin yoge dvigune yogat tasmat punar yogaha, when they are meeting again, second meeting. So, it is illustrated in this figure. So, one person is starting from here, other person is starting from here. So, first they meet at, he is travelling with speed V1, this person with speed V2. So, they meet let us say here first. So, then clearly, so this is x. So, then this fellow is travelling distance x with the speed V1. So, x by V1. So, that must be equal to, so this will be d minus x by V2. So, solving for x we get dV1 by V1 plus V2. The time of meeting is x by V1 is d divided by V1 plus V2. So, that is the this thing. And the second meeting is at B, where again. So, this fellow will proceed toward that and comes back. Similarly, he will also proceed and come back. So, we can work out all these things. So, the second meeting will be it will be 3d V1 by 3d divided by V1 plus V2, that is from the beginning. So, that will be the time of meeting. So, time between the first and second meetings will be 2d by V1 plus V2. So, that is a simple result. So, he has given some example for this. The distance between two towns is 300 yojanas. Yojana trishato yantaha purayoho antaram kayoho. So, ekadasha gatistva eko navayojanaga paraha. So, one is having a speed of 11 yojanas per some time per day, other 9 yojana, navayojana. So, tell quickly the times of their meetings. So, you can work it out. So, time of first meeting is 15, then second is 45 after the, from the beginning. So, time between meetings is 30. Okay. Then travelling along a circle. See, suppose two people are travelling in a circle like this. So, then what is the, when do they meet? Okay. Suppose they start with different speeds V1 and V2. So, then see, let V1 be greater than V2, then suppose let them meet at x at a distance from P. So, that means if they are meeting, that means the person who was travelling fast, he would have completed one circle and then extra, you see, and the second person will be meeting here. So, the distance travelled by one who is moving with higher speed is c plus x, this is x, and the distance travelled by 2 is x. So, you got c plus x by V1 is x by V2. So, solving for x we get x is equal to cV2 by V1 minus V2, and time of meeting is c by V1 minus V2. So, this is applied in astronomy. This is called for to calculate what is known as the synodic period. See, suppose a planet you are seeing that it is moving around the earth as you observe it, so then they move with different speeds. When are they in conjunction? Okay. So, that is what is this thing, you know. See, for instance, sun and moon, when they are apparently they are moving with respect to the earth, right, in a circle, two different circles. But of course, does not matter even though they are different circles, the angular speed will be what counts. Okay. So, when they are in conjunction, so then that will be this Amavasya or new moon day, then again how much is that? So, that you can calculate by circumference divided by the difference in velocities. Okay. So, next an important result he is doing. Suppose you have got this, you know, this first sum of the integer, second sum, or sum of squared, sum of cubed. So, they are old results. By that time Narayana Pandita wrote his work. It had been they had been discussed threadbare in the earlier works, and second sum is also, the second sum is also stated in Aryabhatiya onwards. So, now we consider an arithmetic progression with these terms, that is each term is a sum of an arithmetic series. Okay. So, the rth term will be this 1 plus 2 etc. a plus r minus 1 into d. So, sum of this arithmetic progression, you see, you have to sum over this r is equal to 1 to n. So, then you will get like this. So, and he gives the, so slightly more general kind of a thing, you see. So, from the sum of sums of integers, you are going to the arithmetic progression kind of a thing. So, this will be the, so the stated is okay, I have not given the Sanskrit first, does not matter. So, now a very important advancement in Ganita Kaumudi, I would like to talk about it. See, earlier we had the sigma of r, you see, sorry, this must be n into n plus 1 by 2. So, that is when you sum from 1 to n, the sum of first n integers is n into n plus 1 by 2, then sum of sums. So, that is n into that is sum of this, you know. So, if you sum this once, so then it will be n into n plus 1 by 2. Now, sum this from r is equal to 1 to n. So, we write it like this 1 to n. So, that is n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 by 1 into 2 into 3. So, this is given by, you know, earlier mathematicians. The last is the sum of the sums or the second sum. So, Narayana Pandita generalizes this to the kth sum. Suppose you do it k times. So, then that is equal to n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 etc. up to n plus k divided by 1 into 2 into 3 divided by k plus 1. So, this is equal to n plus k c k plus 1. So, this is a very important result. It has not been stated in earlier in Indian mathematics literature. This result is stated in Yukti Bhasha also without referring to Narayana Pandita. So, probably they would have discovered it themselves also, because I mean that is at a fairly advanced level that they are doing. So, they might have done it because other things which they are borrowed from, they are always quoted, Laghumanasa or Leelavati, they are always quoted. So, this is not quoted. So, probably they did it anyway, and this plays a very crucial role in the infinite Taylor series for sine and cosine functions. And this is how Narayana Pandita states it. Ekadika varamitaha padadi rupottaraha prutak temshaha ekodjekachaya hara stad dhato varasankalitam. Varasankalita is called. So, number of terms, say n is the first term of an arithmetic progression and 1 the common difference. Those, that is terms of the AP, their numbers being 1 more than the number of times the sum is to be taken, or the numerator. Then 1 is to be the first term of another AP and 1 the common difference. These are the denominators, and their product is the kth sum of n. So, very so, he is clearly giving this result, n into n plus 1 into n plus k up to, because he is saying those 1 more than the number of terms. So, this will go first term is 1, then it goes up to one more number. This is sum of is to be taken, that is, so the n plus k should come in the last term. Okay. So now suppose I will use this notation for this v and k, kth sum of n. So we will, he is giving this, so we should show, but how is it written as a sum of sums, you see. So it should be, if it is a sum like that, then it should be a sum of this k minus 1 kind of a thing, right. So first sum, then when you sum this you should get the second sum, then you get the third sum, etc. So he is giving the result for the kth sum. So we should show that it is actually k minus 1 sum. When it is summed over things, you should get this. Okay. So we have to show that we will show that this actually satisfies this thing, that that is you k minus 1th sum, when you sum from 1 to n you get this result. So now v n k is n plus k c k plus 1. So using the properties of this NCR, you get these n plus k minus 1 c k plus 1 plus n plus k minus 1 c k. So v n k is equal to v n k minus 1 plus v n minus 1 k. So using this repeatedly, see this again we write as v n minus 1 k minus 1 plus v n minus 2 k, etc. Finally you get it is v n k up to v n k minus 1, etc. But here that also v 1 k, so that is the sum with one term, you see. So kth or k minus 1th, it does not matter. So v 1 k is equal to v 1 k minus 1, that is always equal to 1. So v n k is this. So this is the sum, and the result is already given, see. So proceeding in this manner, and this again can be expressed as the sum of the lower order sum. So v n k is kth sum, is written like v r 0. So now v r 0 is r c 1 is equal to r, right. So that is 0 is sum of r, which is r itself. So v n k is indeed the kth sum of first n integers. So now this is illustrated with a very famous cow problem in Ganitha Kaumudi. So very interesting problems. Abdas taranyab donaha unaha prutak prutak yavad alpatam yanti tani kramashash chaikadika ekadika varanam padani syuhu. He gives the solution itself first. Subtract, I mean, it is as if one is supposed to know the problem. Okay. Subtract the number of years in which a calf begins giving birth from the number of years successively and separately till the remainder becomes smaller than the subtractive. These are the number for repeated summation. Tani kramash chaika ekadika varanam. Okay. One twice, etc. in that order. Ekadika varanam. This is first sum, second sum, etc. Okay. Some of the summations along with one added to the number of years is the number of progeny. Okay. So we have to. So this is the solution he is giving. So let us understand what is. I will just explain this slide before giving the table. See, one cow is there. So initial cow, okay, or some primordial cow, let us say, okay. So it is there. So then every year it is giving birth to one calf, okay. You will assume that it is a female calf only. Every year it is giving one calf. So for 20 years, okay, we are discussing that, okay. Now the calf born in the first year would produce its first offspring in the 4th year. See, after 3 years only it is done, okay. So this calf is giving, see the first generation of cows, you see, first generation of the cows. So then this is the second generation, you see, this is giving rise to this here, and here you see in the next year, 5th year, this will of course give one, and here this also will give one rise to one calf, and similarly, so this is 1 plus 1 plus 1, etc. The next one it is 1 plus 2. So then in the 6th year this also will start, okay. So all the calves will who are born in successive years, they will start producing their own calves in the successive years. So they will be, that is the second, third column will be this, second column will be that. So then again these so this is the 4th year. from the 7th year onward there will be the third generation of cows. So, that is what is happening. The calf born in the first year would produce its first offspring in the 4th year, this and the one born in second, etc. So, total number of second generation calves will be 1 plus 2 etc. 17. Okay. First generation is 1 plus 1, second generation is 1 plus 2 plus etc. up to 17 only. No, 17. I will see that. Yeah. Similarly, the total number of third, fourth, fifth, sixth etc. will be V14 2, V11 3. See, third sum of 11, second sum of 14, third sum of 11, fourth sum of 8, fifth sum of 5 and sixth sum of 2. So, no more generations within 20 years, and the 8th generation would be only in the 22nd year. So, let me, the table it will be clear. You see, the first generation is 1 1 1 etc. first year, you see, it will go on in the next slide also it goes on. Then the second generation, you see, V1 0 is equal to 1, V2 0 is equal to 2, because the one born in the second year also is giving. So, 3 etc. So, second generation if you sum, you will get 1 plus 2 etc. up to 17, because it goes from 4 to 20. So, it is 17, 1 plus up to 70. The third generation will be, so this one, you see, V1 0 that will give 1, then next in the 8th year 1 plus 2, you see, that will become. Okay. So, next will be like that, you know. So, the second sum will come, and the fourth generation it will be, so like that V1 2 etc. So, fifth generation, so V20 0 that is only just 20, then V17 1, so that is 17 into 17 plus 1 by 2, and this will be 14, this is 14 into 14 plus 1 into 14 plus 2 divided by 1 into 2 into 3, so like that. So, this is the 7th generation of the offsprings. So, total will be, total progeny produced by the Gomata is, you know, 20, 17 1 plus 17, 14 2 etc. So, 20 plus 17 into 18 by 1 into 2 plus 14 into 15 into 16 by 1 into 2 into 3 etc. etc. Okay. So, finally, it will be 2744. So, if we had to add 1, if we want to include the original initial cow also, that will be the total number. So, this is the direct application of the. So, then of course, we will talk about the kth sum of a series in arithmetic progression. So, consider an arithmetic progression a plus d etc. to a plus n minus 1 d. First term is a, common difference is d, number of terms is n. Then he has given this result, Ruponita Padavaraja Sankalitam Syatchaye Gunaha Saprutak Ekadika Charagno Veka Parapto Mukhe Guno Bhavati Swagunagnadhyuttarai Yogaha Syat Varajam Ganitam. The kth sum of n number of terms less 1 etc. I mean, I might as well give the result in this thing. So, what he is doing is, there is an arithmetical progression. So, kth sum of that, so that is given by the result. So, how do we understand it? The first sum is this, you see, when you sum an arithmetic progression, the first sum will be this, a n plus n into n minus 1 by 2 into d, right. That is in a sum of an arithmetic progression. First term a, common difference is d, and number of terms n. So, now we have to sum over this. So, make it into r, and then r is going from 1 to n. You see, that is a. So, kth sum will be k minus 1 sum of this, k minus 1 sum of a n plus n into n minus 1 by 2 into d. So, k minus 1 sum of n plus d into, you see, this is actually first sum of n minus 1. So, k minus 1 is there. So, kth sum of n minus 1, the first sum n minus 1 is n into n minus 1 by 2. So, finally, you get this result, because k minus 1 sum of n is this, right? N into n plus 1, you should go up to n plus k minus 1, and so k terms are there, and below again k terms 1 into 2 etc. k plus d into kth sum of n minus 1. So, which is n minus 1 you should start and n minus 1 plus k. So, like this. So, this is the final result. So, for instance, he gives an example, Adihi Samiranamita Prachayasti Sankhyo Gacheshu Saptasu Vadashu Prardha Buddhe Varahi Payonidimitahi Parivartanena Sat Kim Phalam Ganitam Matsaratasti Chechet. First term of an arithmetic progression is 5, common difference is 3 Sankhya, right, and the number of terms is 7, number of is Gacha, Gacheshu Saptasu. Oh, best among learneds, okay, he is wooing the his audience. Tell quickly the fourth sum of this thing, you see, Payonidhi Varahi. If you have passion for mathematics, tell the sum by changing the ingredients also. So, A is 5, D is 3, common difference, N is 7, K is 4. So, if you plug in these numbers here, you get the result, these 1806. One can work out changing the ingredients. What he is saying is make it 6 and other kind of a thing. So, then the geometric progression, nothing new as far as I could see, from what is given in Ganita Sara Sangraha and Leelavati. Then Samavrittas and all those these things, that is also same as in Leelavati. So, in geometry in Ganita Kaumudi in chapter 4. So, all the results of geometry in Ganita Sara Sangraha and Leelavati are stated here, and adds many results of his own, especially rational triangles and quadrilaterals, and also generalizes many results. So, you might have noticed this, he always tries to generalize the results given in earlier works. So, we give some interesting results in geometry of plane figures. See, for instance, gross area of a regular polygon with n sides. So, he gives the n sides. So, suppose the side is s. So, in the gross area he says is n squared minus n into s squared by 12, where s is the side, and it does not come out all right, and even in approximation of large n, I find that it will be n squared minus 3 by 12 into s squared. Apart from, of course, we are already made a approximation of pi being equal to 3. Okay. So, it is not clear what the approximation is, anyway it is a very small result here. So, after many other gross results, Narayana states that the earlier gross results have been stated for novice calculations. Due to occasional disagreement between gross and exact results, I have not much respect for them, he himself has stated. Okay. So, it is only maybe to test the alertness of the students whatever it is anyway, but many of them approximations do make sense. Then diagonal of a cyclic quadrilateral. So, I will not go into detail of this earlier result. Okay. So, area of a that area of the cyclic quadrilateral is this, then the diagonal of the this thing is 2 diagonals, you know how to get it. You see, that is the result, famous result due to Brahmagupta. Divide the sum of the products of the sides about both the diagonals by each other, multiply the quotients by the sum of the products of opposite sides, square roots of the products of the diagonals in a quadrilateral. Now comes the new thing. So, new thing he is saying, he introduces the concept of a third diagonal. So, which will be very useful in many results on cyclic quadrilaterals. In all cyclic quadrilaterals, the new diagonal, of course, it does not say the diagonal obtained by the interchange of its face and flank side is a third diagonal. So, this is your cyclic quadrilateral ABCD. So, these are the diagonals, right, BD and AC, they are the diagonals. So, call them E and F. So, the expressions for that is fairly straightforward, we have already done that. Of course, the result may look slightly different because my order of the sites may be, you please check, So, here it is A, B, C, D. So, A, B and C, D are the opposite pairs. So, when you are comparing with the other results, please mark this. Anyway, so now he is saying, see now you get another quadrilateral, by making DC prime is equal to BC. So, they are essentially interchanging the side. So, DC prime is equal to BC and BC prime is equal to CD. So, essentially these two sides are and this diagonal are kept same, the upper flanks you can say they are interchanged. So, that is this thing, and then so AB C prime D, that is the new cyclic quadrilateral, and this is AC prime is the third diagonal. So, that is the thing, and a third diagonal, and very easily you can find out the third diagonal, because essentially what have you done in getting this new diagonal? Essentially these sides B and C have interchanged, right. See this upper this thing. So, instead of C this has become B, and this is instead of B it has become C. So, that is the thing, only I interchange B and C. So, diagonal expression also is straightforward, only you have to express this thing, So, interchange B and C. So, AB plus CD, so this will be AD plus BC, that will be then AC plus BD. So, that is it. So, this is the third diagonal. So, it plays a very important role in the proof for the area of a cyclic quadrilateral and also for the area of the circumdiameter. So, that in Yukti Bhasha it is proved, and the other speakers, one of them probably Professor Ram Subramaniam will prove that result which is given in Yukti Bhasha. So, for that this concept is very crucial, the third diagonal plays an important role. So,
what is the relationship between the original quadrilateral?
Yeah, that is what he has given, no, the interchange of sides.
No, but what is, so you interchange the sides. And
Upper sides, yeah.
You interchange one pair of sides.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got a new diagonal.
Yeah, yeah.
And therefore what?
No, this comes in various things. We will see. That will, the new diagonal has come, but what is the use of that? Yes, several results. As I said, using this, it is very important for you proving the this expression for this area of a cyclic quadrilateral. You have to use this concept of third diagonal. Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah.
You are referring it to the third diagonal as if the quadrilateral has remained unchanged.
But that is how they are using, you see. So, it is as important as the first two diagonals of the original quadrilateral. Perhaps that is what they mean. Yeah, yeah. He is not a third diagonal of the same quadrilateral.
By interchanging sides again, you will not get any more.
Any more this thing, yeah.
So, it will end with 3. So, you interchange any other side, you will get back the same 3. That is why there are 3 diagonals associated.
Yeah, because even if you interchange this, the order will be different, but you will get the same these things, So, maximum you can generate 3, yeah, probably, yes, yes, that is the thing. So, then you will get the circumdiameter. I have already given this result earlier, you see. See, suppose we were the sides A and B, suppose this is a triangle A, B, C. So, then this BQ is perpendicular to AC. It may not appear in the figure like that, but it is, take it like that. So, suppose this is that perpendicular R. So, then he states that D is equal to AB by R. This is a Brahmagupta result, which I do not have to say again, and it is perpendicular, and you can also write it as D into F by P. See, suppose you take instead of that, this triangle, you see. So, any triangle, you see, the diameter will be the product of the sides and divided by the perpendicular, you see. So, that is the thing. So, this is the result here also. Then the area of a cyclic quadrilateral is stated in the following: multiply the sum of the products of the sides lying on the same side and divide the product by 4 times the circumradius, that is the area of the equilateral and other quadrilaterals, he says. So, this is the expression for the area. So, they would have, is very clear, because you can consider it as two triangles, so AB, these two triangles, and those perpendiculars are there. So, from that you can get the result. Okay. Because the half base into altitude, and altitude itself is given in terms of the two sides and circumdiameter, that is the thing, you see, that is what you are doing. Did you get the point? So, the ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. The area of this cyclic quadrilateral can be thought to be the sum of the areas of the triangle ABD and BCD. So, area of triangle ABD plus area of triangle BCD. Call this as A1 and call this as A2. Now, this area of this triangle ABD is half base into height. You can consider BD as the base, half BD into height. So, which is essentially you drop a perpendicular from A to this base BD, call it as P1. So, BD is F. So, half F into P1. Now, the circumradius of the triangle, circumradius, if you call it as R, triangle ABD R. So, this is the product of the two sides AB into BD divided by twice the perpendicular. So, this is essentially AD divided by 2 into, now the perpendicular is P1. So, you get P1 is equal to AD divided by 2R. So, substituting that here, one can see that this is equal to 1 by 4 into AD into F divided by 4R. So, this is the area of the triangle ABD. So, similarly the area of the triangle BCD, so which is A2. So, same logic will apply, instead of AD you will get BC here. So, BC into the base is the same F divided by R. So, the area of the quadrilateral, cyclic quadrilateral is equal to A1 plus A2 is equal to 1 by 4 into AD plus BC into F divided by R. So, this is what has been stated. Okay. So, then alternate expression, see, for instance, he gives the result that the radius, circumradius is equal to EFG by 4A. So, this is where so neatly it comes that the radius is equal to the product of all the three diagonals divided by 4 times the area. So, alternately, so chaturahata phala vihrute trikarana gate thava hrudayam. Hrudayam is the circumradius. Alternately, the product of the three diagonals divided by 4 times the area, so that is the circumradius. So, this will introduce some symmetry in the thing. So, all these things are somewhat equivalent, and radius comes out neatly as the product of all the three diagonals divided by the 4 times the area. Then construction of integral cyclic quadrilaterals, I will not have too much time, I will not go into that in detail. See, for instance, he will start from two triangles, right triangles like this, r squared minus s squared 2rs r squared plus s squared, p squared minus q squared 2pq p squared plus q squared. See, if r as a p q etc. are rational number, these also will be rational. Okay. So, then actually you can get, if you are integers, there will be integers. So, he can get an integral quadrilateral using these, starting from this, where the sides and perpendiculars etc. are given in this figure. So, what is important is not only the sides, but the various perpendiculars, the various segments etc. they are all integral here, you see. So, it is highly quite a non-trivial result. So, it will take some time to explain, but he has constructed, that is why there is some extra factor, r squared plus s squared everywhere, otherwise that need not have been there. So, that this is to make all the other things also, like perpendiculars and segments also integral. So, he gives this result. So, then he gives a very interesting result, construction of rational triangles whose sides differ by unity. So, he says that, so this is what we want is a triangle with sides x minus 1, x plus 1 and x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay. So, where all the sides are integral, you can say what is so great, because you can choose any x and you can keep, a triangle is determined by 3 sides, but what he wants is all the perpendicular segments, they should all be integral. Okay. So, that is what he is doing, he is giving this thing. So, the construction is as follows: divide twice an optional number by the square of the optional number less 3, add 1 to thrice the square of the quotient, twice the square root of the sum is the base, 1 added to and subtracted from the base are the flank sides. So, what he is saying is that Jiguneshta mishtakrutya trihina yaptam cha tatkutis triguna saika moolam jigunam buhu saikonadikha bahuhu. So, essentially finally he is giving, if you are having this kind of a situation, so then using the theorem of the right triangle, one can easily see that the solution for this is, if n is this, x is this in terms of n, then this will be a rational triangle with all the perpendiculars and segments also being this thing. Okay. Now, very important thing is, now he will generate an infinite number of triangles with this kind of a procedure. So, that is what is stated here. I will give the, I will tell you what he wants to do. See, so essentially, see, you are having this kind of a thing. You see, this is a triangle, right? This is a triangle, and considering the fact that these are right angle triangle, one can easily get this result: 3 by 4 x squared minus 3 is equal to y squared. See, x and y should satisfy this relation, you see, where y is a perpendicular. Okay. So, now now he will say that where x is the base, y is the perpendicular. So, let the solutions for the base be written as x1, x2 etc. and the corresponding perpendiculars y1, y2 etc. Suppose we have found xj and yj up to j is equal to I minus 1. So, then it is stated that new solution xi yi can be found using xi is equal to 2 into xi minus 1 plus yi minus 1 and yi is equal to 3 into xi minus 1 plus yi minus 2. Okay. So, this is what is given in the verse. 3 being the length of the perpendicular and 4 the base of the first right angle triangle, and its infinite pairs of right angle triangles are produced in which sides increase by unity. In these, the perpendicular from the vertex to the respective base is sum of the thrice the previous base added to the still previous perpendicular, and the base is twice the sum of the previous perpendicular added to the previous base. So, this is what he is stating. So, this is in the spirit of yesterday and today, the bhavana. This is a bhavana or a composition law, samasa bhavana in this case, right. So, you are getting from Brahmagupta, right, xi yi, if you have a pair of integers which is satisfying the Varga Prakriti equation, x squared minus dy squared is equal to k. Of course, there you talk of two of them, x1 squared minus dy1 squared is equal to k1, then x2 squared minus dy2 squared is equal to k2. So, then you can generate another pair which will satisfy this with k1 k2 as the kshepa. So, that was discussed in detail, how to get that, how that x is in terms of x1 x2 and things like that, y1 y2. So, these are another bhavana kind of a thing. So, from these xi plus 1 yi plus 1 can be found and so on. The simplest equation of course is this 0, so that is not a solution. Then take next is x1 is equal to 4, y1 is equal to 3. So, then here 3 by 4 x squared minus 3 is equal to y squared. So, that is satisfied. In this case, one segment of the base is 0 and the other segment is the base itself. So, that is 4, the upright is 3 and the hypotenuse is 5. So, we can prove this. I will not go into the proof, it is a simple proof. Okay. So, so induction, I mean, so that is one, if you have generated up to I, the next will be that is what is given here, you are generating the next set of values. So, I will these quite some just some manipulations with right triangles and so on. So, this is the sequence. So, this is correct, one can show that this is this will satisfy all the criteria. So, so for instance, if you take x 0 is equal to 2, y 0 is equal to 0, you start from that. So, these will satisfy those equations. X 1 you take this and y 1 4 3. Okay, then you start from 4 3, other sides are x minus 1 is equal to 3, x plus 1 is equal to 5, and the segments are 0 and 4, as I told, this will collapse. But the next will be 14 12, x 2 will be 14, y 2 will be 12. So, x is equal to x 2 is equal to 14 and 12, this is a perpendicular. The other sides are 13 and 15, 13, 14 and 15 are the sides, and the segments are 5 and 9. So, this is the essentially the first kind of a. So, the one of the segments is 0 here. So, 3 4 5, it will not collapse, sorry, it is just one segment is 0, that is all. It is a valid triangle, it is a right angle triangle, that is all. Okay. So, next is this triangle 13 12 13 14 and 15, that you will get, and from that you will get 51 53 52 with these as the perpendiculars and all that. So, these are integral solutions for sides with differing by unity as well as perpendiculars and segments. So, clearly there are an infinite number of solutions. So, these are the kind of nice tricks that he does. So, then of course, I will not be dealing too much with combinatorics, but little bit I will tell that is there in the 13th chapter called Anka Pasha. It is a very elaborate one containing many new results on permutations and combinations. So, he considers a generalized Fibonacci sequence is described here. So, we already heard about it. Fibonacci sequence is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 12, etc. And if Pn denotes the nth term in the sequence, it satisfies this relation. The same thing as what Professor Srinivas talked about. He was using the symbol S instead of P. So, S and this thing, and he was also explaining how it occurs naturally in this suppose you assign the value 1 to a Laghu and 2 to a Guru, okay. Then with a given number of matra, that is the total number, then how many possibilities are there, you see. See, suppose there is only 0 if it is suppose 1 only, okay, 1 is 1, 8 13, of course, sorry, 8 13, okay. So, suppose you have only 1, the total is 1, then it can only be 1, then suppose it is 2, then is 1 plus 1 are these are the partitions, or it can be written as 2, that is 2 Laghu or 1 Guru, right, and 3 is 1 plus 1 plus 1, so 3 Laghus and also or 1 Laghu and 1 Guru written in 2 these things way. So, totally there will be 3 ways, so like that. So, and this is what will lead to, you know, this relation also, this nice relation, and you will get the things. So, he generalizes this, and it can be shown that this P n will be equal to n C 0 plus n minus 1 C 1 etc. up to n minus m C m, where this m is n by 2 if n is even, and m is equal to n minus 1 by 2 if n is odd. I think this also was, I think, done in that lecture. So, one can check that this will satisfy the recursion relation like this. Okay. So, remember the origin of this, how this was understood. Okay. See, suppose you have got this total is n minus 1 and n minus 2. Okay. So, then what was explained earlier was that, you know, suppose you have got this n minus 1 matra kind of a thing. So, then you add a lagu to each of them. Okay. So, that will become n, you see, total will be n, and similarly if you have n minus 2, okay, n minus 2, you add a guru to each of them, okay, at the end. So, if this number is s n minus 1, so this number is s n minus 2, the total will be s n, the total number of the arrangements such that the total becomes n, right. So, that total is the same. So, that is the logic here. Total is n actually, yeah, the number is s n, etc. So, now he goes to the Fibonacci numbers, in fact, actually appeared 600 years earlier in the work Vruttajati Samuchaya Virahanka, who arrived at the recurrence relation Pn is equal to Pn minus 1 plus Pn minus 2 in the context of a discussion of Matrivrutas or Moric meters. This was discussed in an earlier lecture by Professor M. D. Srinivas. Narayana Samasiki sequence is essentially a generalization of the sequence discovered by Virahanka in the context of prosody. It is essentially a generalized Fibonacci sequence where one considers the partition of a number when all the digits from 1 to q take part in the partitions. So, this is denoted by P n q, n subscript and q superscript. So, then in that case one can show that we have got these relations P 0 q is equal to P 1 q is equal to 1, and then P n q is equal to this, and similarly P n q is equal to this up to, you know, you are summing, you know, this is n minus 1 to q terms are there, q terms are there in the sum. So, when q is equal to 2, we have the Fibonacci numbers 1, I mean the 0th term also I am putting 1 1 2 3 5 8, of course next is 13 not 12, and q is equal to 3 is, if you take q is equal to 3, the Samasiki sequence will be 1 1 2 4 7 13 24 44 etc. So, here P n 3 is sum of the previous 3. Okay. So, 4 is 2 plus 1 plus 1, 7 is 4 plus 2 plus 1, 13 is 7 plus 4 plus 2, like that, you see. So, this also could be understood in a similar manner. So, instead of these two, you know, Lagu and Guru, suppose you have Lagu, Guru and Pluta. Okay. So, then you see, so how is the, what is the number of combinations with total matra to be n? You see here what you do is, suppose you can start with n minus 3, okay, which is the total this thing is n minus 3. So, now to it add this Pluta which carries a value 3, okay. So, then you will get total to be n. Similarly, n minus 2 you take and add a Guru which will carry the number 2, right. So, this will be n minus 2 plus this thing, that will become this. So, and similarly n minus 1 you add the Lagu here. So, this also will give rise to the total number n. So, if you have to sum of all these arrangements, that will be this Sn3, I mean Pn3 or Sn3, okay. So, Pn3 is, you know, Pn3 n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 3. So, that is how we can understand it, and you can generalize it to Q. So, as you can see, he is always in the business of generalization. Okay, then he generalizes the binomial coefficients also. The binomial coefficients are defined through this 1 plus x, you know that you get from this NCR into x to the power of r, right. Sum is equal to r is equal to 0 to n. So, this is the binomial coefficients. So, now he is generalizing it to polynomial coefficients in Ganitha Kaumudi. So, what it does is take 1 plus x squared plus etc. plus x to the power of q minus 1 whole to the power of p. So, here only the first power of x is coming. Now, you are going up to q minus 1th power. Okay. So, then you can write it as u p q, because this, see here only n is there, one index. So, here p q is there, they also fixed these things. R of course varies. So, u p q r x to the power of r, but the summation is from r is equal to 1 to, because the highest power is here is p into q minus 1, and he gives the methods to generate u p. Of course, he does not write it in this fashion, you see. So, he will talk about, you know, a number 1 1 1 1 etc. multiplied by several times and so on, you see, but it will amount to that, see, at the amount to that. So, then if you take q is equal to 2, of course, it will reduce to this binomial theorem, and you get PCR P2R. Otherwise, and then he will, given the relations between these generalized Fibonacci numbers and these u's. So, that is very interesting. So, it is fairly quite advanced, you know, it is just 14th century, remember, you see, all these things became, you know, very common currency much later in other countries. So, he is quite seems to be comfortable with these fairly advanced topics. So, I have given a glimpse of Ganitha Kaumudi, some of the important results. Some more things will be discussed by Professor Srinivas. So, I will stop here.
One of the slides, the last line, like true and false statements also.
Yeah, the same thing as, you know, whatever is given in that Ganitha Sara Sangraha I told, no, same thing is repeated. Yeah, see, many of the topics they retain those things, you know. So, they, because they do not want to leave anything, all those things plus something addition kind of a thing. So, it comes in Ganitha Sara Sangraha, it comes in Leelavati, it comes in this thing also, yes. Nothing more is added, as far as I know, I do not think he has added anything to that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When we are talking about the third diagonal,
Yeah.
when the sides B and C are interchanged, we get AC prime. Suppose we interchange the sides A and D, and we get another diagonal just out of curiosity.
That also it is done, but relatively, I think finally you will be essentially only 3 will be there. See, that will be, you know, rotating the whole figure. I think that is what I think. It will be essentially rotating the whole figure. The order is what is important, no. See here, what you are saying? So, whatever see A, B, C, D, okay. So, next we are getting A, B, C here and D, they are interchanged, right. So, now you are saying suppose we interchange B and A, okay, B and A, let us say suppose we do. So, then there will be AC, DB. So, this will be AC, DB, essentially it will be this triangle rotated. You are getting the same thing, you see, AB, see this is the original thing, now you are saying interchange this. So, BA, so essentially what I am saying is it is this only rotated, you know. So, BA, CD, so BA, CD, okay, in the other way. I mean the relations between various things will remain the same, yeah. So, you will not get anything new, essentially you will get 2 figures, you know. So, that is what is, yeah.
Sir, there was a line sigma r square, sigma r cube, and there was a double sigma.
No, so the double sigma is the second summation. So, first sigma r is 1 plus etc. up to n, and second is you do the first sum. So, n into n plus 1 by 2, replace n by r, then r into r plus 1 by 2, that you sum from 1 to n. So, that is what it stands for. Second sum means that, yeah, it is just written like that. The references are given here. Thank you.